you're having a debate. It's like you really wanna stay. But you think you should be leaving. So I ask, where you gotta go? What you need to know? Maybe you should hang with me. Maybe you should hang with me for a while. Where you gotta go? Please don't tell me no. Maybe you should hang with me, girl. Maybe you should hang with me for a while. I'm a chill kind of guy. We ain't gotta have a drink. We ain't gotta have a drink. Oh, see, I was born with this smile, and I don't mind saying what I think. I believe in respect. Yes, I do. I won't be leaving the check. See, I don't mind where we're down if I get a little time in exchange. But you wanna hesitate?
Hey now.
How you doing?
Ooh, girl, you jamming. Who is that?
We'll get a few more people in here and then we'll start the interview.
All right.
So I ask, where you gotta go?
Come on.
What you need to know? Maybe you should hang with me. Maybe you should hang with me for a while. Where you gotta go?
That's what we want. We want them to hang with us, right?
I cannot hear you. Hold on.
No, let it.
Don't let this moment pass us by.
Let me go share this.
Don't waste this moment asking why. Maybe you should give us a try tonight. Where you gotta go? Where you gotta go? What you need to do? Maybe you should hang with me. Where you gotta go? Please don't tell me no. Please don't tell me no. All you gotta do is come.
Where you gonna go?
Maybe you should go.
Hey. Hey.
That is one of your songs from the new album that dropped on the 5th of February, which is my birthday.
No, is it really?
Yeah.
Come on, birthday twin.
Was that your birthday?
February 5th.
That's why we get along, Alvin. That's why we get along. High five.
Wow, what a coincidence, man.
I know. That is so good. 5th of February. Aquarius babies are the best.
Ooh,
Okay,
stay
what year?
fluid with
What year?
1978. I know it looked like 1988, you know what I'm saying? But
Hey. Don't hate the player. Don't hate the game either.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. Okay, that explains, because obviously we spoke on Clubhouse yesterday for the was it yesterday?
Yeah, it was yesterday.
And I was just like, this guy is so like genuinely nice, you know, and it's just crazy. Like, and I know it sounds really bad because it sounds like I don't come across nice people, but I do, honestly.
Well, I've been known to be like exceptionally nice, but you know, okay, you know, I can slice and dice if I have to, but on any given day, I'm trying to be nice.
That's an Aquarius thing. I'm telling you, we are loving people, but don't cross us.
No.
Don't cross us. I can't believe that. I'm so shocked about that. This makes it even more special, you know. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Shout out to Tanji and She. We got the birthday twin interview.
Come on. Mimsy and AG, the twins. Birthday twins. Now, question is, wait a minute now. You asked me what year I was born. What about you?
I kind of divulged that, didn't I? I diverted that, didn't I?
You started it.
I'm 86, baby. I'm proud. I'm 86. Do you know what? We share a birthday. I don't know if you listen to it, but we share a birthday with Kevin Gates as well.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Kevin Gates, and he's my year as well. My exact day.
Oh, wow.
So,
Okay.
so I'm
Not
like,
as nice as me, maybe. Not quite as nice.
hey, that's so cool. I was like, 'cause like your album is just, it's an easy listen to album as well, and it's like I could just put it on, like getting on with my housework or putting my makeup on or something like that. And there is a song, but it's not on your new album. It's on your old album. Not your old. There's no such thing as old. There's no such thing as old. But it's on.
Right.
It's called "It's You."
Yeah.
That song is for the ladies.
It's
like
you.
it's. I was just like, when I heard it, I was like, damn, like this song. And we were speaking yesterday about how your music speaks to people and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Prime example. It's
Yes.
a prime example. Tailors to everybody. And it's just like, it's amazing. So thankful for that. I'm thankful for this interview. So thank you let me first of all, like, I just got carried. This is what I do. I don't do any introductions. I just go straight in.
I'm with it. It's that Aquarius thing. Let's flow with
yes, it. That is. We go with the waves,
Yes.
Water. So let's introduce you to all the people that's in the live. So thank you for everybody for joining. This is Alvin Garrett. He is a soul artist, entrepreneur. He's an all-rounder, father, husband, everything, all-rounder. And we're going to get to know him more in this interview today. So thank you, everybody, for joining. Thank you for taking your time out, because I know you're very busy. So thank you so much for joining me. Is it afternoon there? Or
it's sort of getting close to evening.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, so it's late over there. You in the night hours, right?
Hey, listen. When you're working with USA people, you have to be.
Yeah.
I didn't go to sleep. I'm used to going to sleep at 4 or 5 in the morning.
Ooh. I'm getting up at 4 or 5 in the morning.
Oh, okay. What?
Oh yeah, no, I'm an early bird. I need time in the morning to be undisturbed. It's just me and my focus and not being bothered. I can just meditate, get myself together, get some work done without all the rigmarole of the hustle. I love the earth, and I get to work out. You know what I'm saying? I get to get my exercise in.
It's you time. That's a very early you time.
Yeah.
But when you've got lots of responsibilities and people that look up to you and creative moments and public figure, sometimes you just got to create that time for yourself.
You have to.
I'm going to learn how to do that myself as well. So we're going to get into some questions to get to know you.
I'm ready.
All right. So, where were you born, first of all?
I was born just south of Birmingham, Alabama. I know you have a Birmingham over there. But I live in Birmingham, but born in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, raised in the church. My dad's a preacher, coal miner, about as good and southern about as southern as it gets in the church and in the coal mine. I didn't get much more country than that. But just raised in the church, played football in high school, went to college with a football scholarship here in Birmingham, Alabama, Sanford University, got a business management degree, but always loved music. I started playing bass guitar at 11, learned to play by ear. By ear. By ear. Never studied professionally, traditional music education. I never got that. I just played by ear and with the soul. And so after graduation, did a few years in corporate America too, to be exact, and then jumped full time into the world of music entrepreneurship. And that has led me to you right now.
Jazz hands. Hey, listen though, I hear Alabama has a lot of talent, but not enough support. Do you feel that?
Well, I wouldn't say that it's not support. It's industry development, right? There's so many towns and cities across the country that have the raw talent, but the industry itself, that area. And, you know, when that's the case, you know, a lot of times people have to leave or migrate somewhere else in order to take advantage of that talent. So
Yeah.
I don't like to say that there's not support per se. You know, I don't like to say that, oh, you know, people in Alabama don't support. It's in order to get national level support, you have to put out national level product. And so consumers are consumers no matter where they are. And everybody wants the best, right? If you live in Birmingham, Alabama, or Nashville, Tennessee, or somewhere, Oklahoma, you want to see the best. With the money you have to spend, you're going to consume the best. And so I always tell people, don't expect consumers to buy your product simply because they live in the same area as you. That's not fair to the consumer. Try to be the best. Shoot to be the best at what you do so that consumer doesn't see you as a local artist. They see you as an artist that lives in their town that's national. And so I never blame the consumer for not wanting to buy something I'm selling, because it's my job to sell them something that they value, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's, you know what, that's a great insight there, because a lot of, even not just for Alabama, like there's artists in Virginia and that I've seen that all, like, because, you know, with me, I do mainly a lot of underground artists. So it's kind of like, it's quite a breath of fresh air for you to come out and say that, because hopefully that will give people that motivation to actually go and do more with their music and to basically aim higher. If you, not saying they don't aim higher, but it's just kind of like, you know, the expectations. And I do believe stay humble as well. So stay humble. So yesterday we were talking in Clubhouse, and there was, like I said, I had some questions for you. And I was like, okay, so you do a bit of engineering yourself.
Yeah.
I remember you saying about how hard it was to find an engineer. So in Alabama, so you went and taught yourself everything.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So like I was saying yesterday in Clubhouse, is if you don't figure out how to do it yourself, it may never get done. And that's just going back to what we just said. In a, you know, I'll say a B market, C market, in an underdeveloped market where you don't have studios on every corner, like in Atlanta, studios everywhere where you can intern.
Yeah.
You have people coming from other markets moving to Atlanta for for opportunities in the entertainment industry. So of course you have more access to, you know, the talent base or the experience base, shall I say. But here it's like, if you want to record, you may have to buy your own studio equipment, learn how to run it, and do it yourself if you want to get it done. And it's like that in most everywhere outside of Nashville, Atlanta, LA, New York, right? You know, major entertainment metropolitan areas. So for me, you know, it was something that I wanted to do. So I invested in myself and put in the time to learn about the, you know, engineering. No, I didn't go to school for that. I just put in good old fashioned man hours. To learn to get to a point where I can go in the studio with just about anybody and not only engineer the session, as you know, from the technical side, but produce and arrange the song with them from the creative and intellectual property side. So that just honestly came with, you know, of course, having natural talent, but just having a work ethic. That's just, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think work ethic is something that is also you need to have that because you're, as I say, you're a product of your brand, you know.
Right.
So you're talking about, you know, going into engineering and production sessions. So I know you've worked with some quite major people such as Joe, Kelly Rowland, Fantasia. How was that? How did you come about that?
Interestingly enough, I've never been in the studio with either of them. You know,
really?
Absolutely. I always record and engineer my demos, right? And so when I was working with Joe, I would always just send the session files of my arrangements, and they would have their own engineers. So I always would work remote with those artists. So right from my home studio, I would record, arrange, write the songs, send the files to them, and then they would work with their engineers to, follow my arrangements, which was, pretty exciting to know that artists on that level would respect my arrangements and record them about 90 to 95% exactly how I sent it, which also says we trust you as well, for an artist to say, I trust your perception of what I should sing. You know what I'm saying? And so I sort of had a nice little connection with Joe in that our voices are kind of similar, our fan bases are similar. So I could sort of, in my mind, become Joe. And it was different enough.
You morphed.
Yeah, I morphed into Joe. But it was different enough of what he had already done for it to be fresh, right? He liked it because it was different, but it was still traditional Joe. And of course I use nice female demo singers for Kelly and Fantasia. Oh, and Fantasia just did her thing. She's like, okay, I got it, but let me do me.
She is one of those powerful artists that has, because I honestly haven't listened to Fantasia in a very long time, but I grew up on her Kelly Rowland as well. So it's quite refreshing to see, especially with the fact that you didn't even have to go in a session. That's like definitely trust, because like artists are very perfectionists when it comes to the music and stuff, and not even just that, like producers can be like that as well. So it's kind of like it must have been a lot of trust there. Was that based on word of mouth?
Yeah, I actually got connected to Joe from about 3 different people who connected me to somebody who connected me to somebody. And I ended up meeting the producer, the music producer that had the relationship with Joe and his team. And so my relationship was as a writer for the producer. And basically he said, hey, I got about 10 tracks, 10 musical arrangements that nobody has written to. And he said, but they love it, but nobody can write to it. So he sent it to me, and I'm like, what? Okay, come on.
Let's go.
Yeah. I'm like, so once I wrote my demos and my songs to this producer who was already in the door, he submitted the songs, and they were like, whoa, who is this? What is this? And that's how we were able to continue connecting the dots. But it was through a relationship, and that's what I always encourage people to do. Is it's one thing to have talent yourself, but you have to, like you said earlier, you have to stay humble. You have to know how to be a solution for somebody else. I produce music myself, right? I can play a bass, I can produce an arrangement myself, but he didn't need that. He already had it. But because I can write and arrange vocals, do great demos, and do it quickly, I was a solution to that producer, which got me in the door. So I always tell people to focus on what type of solution you can be to get in the game, right? And that doesn't mean abandon your own dream. It means just stay fluid enough, right? To be that person someone else needs to call to get on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. I know what you're saying about that. And so you work with different people, and again, going back to our Clubhouse arrangement yesterday, I've got to stop saying that, because apparently you're not allowed to say that word in Instagram.
The house, back at the house,
The back of the house. We're talking about the house. The meeting we had at the house. So you talk about when you're doing your arrangements and your engineering and everything, your sessions basically. You, like you said earlier, you kind of have to morph into that person. How do you adapt to different types of characters to basically get that sound right?
Well, you have to, like I said at the house, I gave the example of this is my stand, and I really don't like giving this away, but I'll do it for you. When I'm sitting and I'm talking to any artist, it doesn't matter who they are, I always see it like making Kool-Aid, right? And for anybody that knows how to make Kool-Aid, you got to have a jug of water, you got to have the Kool-Aid flavor, and you got to have sugar, right? So to me, the song is the water. It's fluid. It's pure. The song is the song. It'll change colors depending on who's singing it. So that's what I equate the artist, their individual personality, their voice, their style, their marketing strategy. That's what I call the Kool-Aid flavor. Me, as the writer and the producer and arranger, I'm the sugar. I'm supposed to get involved and make them sweeter, right? And a lot of people don't understand this about a lot of the artists that they love, right? That they hear on the radio. A lot of them don't know a thing about being in the studio other than I can sing. Tell me what to sing. I was shocked when I learned how many professional artists can't determine where to sing their ad libs. Now you see them on stage and they're blowing you away, but they've lived with the record long enough to make it their own. But they come to the studio trusting the vocal producer. Tell me what to sing. Tell me where to put it. So they trust you to bring the best out of them. You know what I'm saying? And
a lot of teamwork.
Yeah. So you got to almost come in with a lot of confidence where you have to, because you're looking at, oh, this is this person because you've seen them on, on their public profile. But they're like, hey, man, perk up. I need you to tell me what to sing. Now, of course, you have some singers that produce their own vocals. They just need you to press the button. That would be me. I press my own buttons, right? And then you have some singers.
I hope in a good way, too.
Yeah, I press my own button. But some singers just don't have a clue. They just, hey, I can sing, but I don't know what to sing. So everybody's different. And you have to just go in as an arranger, producer, whatever, with the humility to say, I'm not here to make my color Kool-Aid. I'm not here to do that. You know what I'm saying? When I want people to hear and feel Alvin, I'll do like I just did and I'll release a project. But as a writer and producer, I'm not here to make myself seen. I'm here to make myself tasted and felt.
It's powerful. There you go, guys. He just gave some exclusive tea.
Yeah. You got the little tea on you. Drop a little Kool-Aid on it.
We don't have Kool-Aid over here, so we'll call it tea.
Well, see, you need to get you some Kool-Aid. Tell them to go and send you a little something over there. You know what I'm saying? So they understand what I'm talking about.
When you started talking about putting water and sugar and then the Kool-Aid flavor, I was just like,
well, look, I'm open. Listen, I just introduced you to something that's just, it's all kind of Negro culture, man. It's Kool-Aid. This is Negro heritage culture. Just go look it up. But it's Kool-Aid with a K. KOOL dash.
Oh my God. I thought that was like a cartoon or something.
No, ma'am. That is called Negro heaven drink. That's what that is.
Oh.
Negro heaven drink. You ain't black if you don't know what Kool-Aid is. Obviously, you don't know what Kool-Aid is. So we're not holding that against you today, Mimsy. But we're going to put you on. We're going to put you on.
Thank you.
Google it, Kool-Aid, so you can understand my analogy.
I'm gonna go see if I can get some off Amazon or something, because I'm not coming to America until June. So.
Oh yeah, and when you gotta say, my man Alvin, my birthday twin told me about Kool-Aid. I gotta get some.
Give me some Amazon or something. I love it. So you've had a Grammy nomination.
Mm-hmm.
You've won. You've not just been nominated, but you've also won the Soul Train, Dove, and Stellar Awards as well. How was that? Like being nominated for a Grammy? That's amazing.
Yeah.
How was okay, talk us through how it happened.
Well,
your feelings and everything. We need the full effects.
All right. So I got my own vibe about this thing. So it's funny, when I heard about the Grammy nomination from a friend, it didn't sink in until the next day when I posted it on social media, just how much it meant. I think it meant more to the people who heard about it than it meant to me, because I'm the type of person that will get excited about a concept, right? I get excited about the work and I expect the result, right? So when something like that happens, you kind of like, this is cool. But once everybody was like, blah, 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 and I was like, oh boy, this is real. Like this is exactly. So to me, like I was excited about it, of course, but I also quickly said, well, if I'm going to say this, that I'm Grammy nominated, I can't let up. Like, I can't put out a record or put out a project and put my name on something they like Grammy nominated, as opposed to Grammy nominated. So to me, it humbled me. It made me go harder because I said my work has to say that, not just the title, not just my resume. And I think that's where people fall off, is when they fall off when they get a little resume, they get whatever. And yeah, back in the days, I did this and did that, or I got this. But what are you doing now? What are you going to be doing 2 years from now, 10 years
Like
from
they
now?
say, money runs out.
It does. So does the shine of a title. So as much as I appreciate it, it was 2012. I don't get up every day seeking for a Grammy. I get up every day seeking for excellence. You know what I'm saying? And if I'm excellent, then my reward will come to me. But that shouldn't change my ethic, right? That should be consistent every day. And so those awards just fuel me to continue doing what I always do, which is working hard, dreaming big, you know?
But that's the same probably as well, like not even just awards, just appreciation of, like yesterday, a lot of people came into your Clubhouse room, not only to welcome you to Clubhouse. You're a little bit late, but you know, we'll let that one slide.
Let it slide. I'm slow. I'm from Alabama. You heard that before, right?
But a lot of people came in and were just so thankful for your music, and you know, as some stories were told about some lives that you've saved through your music because your music spoke to them. Tell us more about that.
Man, it was so amazing last night. One of the artists that I wrote a song for, a guy named Michael Lee. He was telling a testimony about a gospel song. He's a gospel artist, and the song was called Don't Break. And he started saying, somebody heard the song and they were about to commit suicide. And I was thinking he was telling a story that I always tell. And then he said they had a knife. I was like, wait a minute, my guy had a gun. And so he told his story about how this gentleman, told him, like, the song came on the radio right when he was about to kill himself, and he changed his mind, which is the exact same thing somebody told me about another song I wrote. Said they had the gun cocked, song came on the radio, and they changed their mind. And it blew me away that it happened twice with songs that I've written. So I know how I personally felt when that gentleman told me that my song saved his life. Now that is a reward you can never measure in money, that your music saved a life, like literally saved a life. And I felt that. I felt the weight of that. And that will always matter more to me than a Grammy, than, is that my music matters to somebody enough to turn a life around. You know what I'm saying? And that be it, no matter what type. And the song he heard wasn't even a gospel song. He heard an inspirational song that didn't have religious language in it. And he heard it on the blues station. So, for me, that's the reward that matters most. That keeps me doing what I do and staying in the lane that I'm in for myself and my artistry.
Yeah. It was quite, because I started doing music, not because I don't do music. I'm not that talented, unfortunately. Can't sing. Unless you want to unless if like screeching cats come in, into fashion. So I'll stay behind the scenes of the music business. But I got into like promoting music and underground artists and stuff because it was therapy for me. Yeah. Like, there's only so many mainstream artists, because especially like with mainstream artists, sometimes they're molded to sound a certain way, or they are told what to do, what to say, and stuff like that, depending on the label, obviously.
Right.
So when it comes to underground artists, I find that they are more raw.
Yeah.
So and I think it's more, you appreciate that more. So I feel like that music is, when I've been saying this statement for absolute years, music is therapy. And then when you said that yesterday, that was my affirmation right there. Like that literally was my affirmation. And then obviously like some of your music has actually talked to me personally as well. So it's kind of like, it definitely is like, because mental health as well is something I don't feel like is talked about enough. I know people kind of hashtag it and stuff like that, but it's not something that's talked about. So for the fact that your music helps people like that as well, it also helps. I just feel like it's important, you know. I think you're being that person to be able to save lives. Obviously it's a little bit of pressure, because, you know, it's a little bit of pressure. Might have to call you Dr. Alvin from now on, you know.
but you know what, it's not as much pressure because it's who I am, right? It's who I am every day, and that the pressure was not changing, you know, not conforming. You know, of course, there was a time in my career that I would have loved for a major label to pick me up and put those resources behind me, you know, help me get out there. But once I realized that that would probably come at the cost of my message, you know what I'm saying? Because like you say, Black male positive R&B artists is not what they're looking for from mainstream. It's like, hey, we love you, but you're gonna have to take that shirt off. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to use the N-word. And those are just things that, because they don't believe it'll sell, and they're in the business of selling music, which I respect. I respect it. I'm in the business of selling my whole brand, and that's my choice as an independent business owner. So I had to look at multiple streams of income to subsidize my dream, right? As opposed to a record deal at the cost of me and my identity. So a part of what my goal is with my company is to provide that platform for artists who say, I would like to go mainstream. I would like to be out there, but I want to be me as well. And if me is something positive and uplifting, but it's not gospel or it's not Christian music, then why should you have to just go so far left because you don't want to go so far right? Why can't we have this space in the middle, like you say? Well, I was listening to the song It's You, and it made me feel confident as a lady. You know what I'm saying? You made me feel confident. Why can't music just simply speak to the heart of a person or the soul of a person and not be in a religious context? You know, everybody doesn't look for religion. And I am a person of great faith. You know what I'm saying? But I want my music to be inspirational, right? To where it's self-image, you know, dream inspiring, or even love making inspiring. You know, I want to inspire people. I want to inspire the good vibes so you make better love with each other. You feel what I'm saying?
Definitely.
That's inspiration, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no.
You know. So I'm still inspiring babies. You know, I inspire the production of babies.
He's trying to reproduce the world.
Yes. Make more Aquarians. That's my goal.
Yes. So what month is it that we're gonna tell them to?
Oh, it's almost time. Let's see. I think about
Look at us.
May.
We're calculating people's ovulation.
Yeah. I think around April or May.
We need more Aquarians in this world. Yes.
I need to do a tour in April and May. That'll get us right around.
Oh, it's a shame we don't have a second Valentine's month.
I know, right?
We need a second Valentine's, because that's fortunately, it's Valentine's is in February, and it's Team Aquarius as well. So you can't do it on those days, guys. But you know, you can go back to the music and certainly create some Capricorns or something like that.
Hey,
you know,
listen.
Second best will be fine. You know,
right. Totally fine with me. Just make some love and make some babies.
Exactly.
Make the world a better place.
Exactly. Let's live for our future. Let's keep that going. So I get so see, we could be talking here for hours. It's the water sign in us. So where was I? So what's your favorite performance? Like when you're performing, what do you like the most out of performing? Apart from the baby making stuff, obviously.
Well, I would say, you know, for the majority of my career, bass guitar was my favorite. You know, that was my native
You play it
instrument.
live?
Oh, what? Come on.
Ooh,
Listen,
I'm coming
listen.
to see you perform.
Yo, let me tell you now, I'm a bad boy. Now, I hadn't played as much lately as I used to because I always would play behind other artists. And I'm still kind of getting used to singing and playing. I can do it a little bit, but I always feel like I compromise. Like I'm only half as good at both when I'm playing. So
You can pull it off. You're an Aquarian.
I'm working on it. But I
You
always
got
feel
it.
like I gotta pull back on both of them. So I'm like, let me just set one of them down. But right now, what I love most about being out front and performing and singing my own music, is just being able to control a room. You know what I'm saying? Like in bass, I can move the room, but with the voice, I can control the room. Right?
Mm-mm.
Ooh. Ooh.
You just gave me goosebumps.
Come on. I'm telling you, like
You to do that? Oh my days.
Listen, when I'm on that mic, listen, if I want tears, I'm getting them. If I want laughter, I'm getting it. If I want reflection, I'm getting it. If I want a party, I'm getting it because I control the room. I control the emotions in the room. And on bass, I can only move it. I can only support the person on the mic. I can only support the song. That's my role. So it is different. I'm a born leader. I've always been a leader. So bass is to me the most humble, supportive instrument. It's the most powerful instrument because it can totally crash a song, totally crash or totally take a song off, right?
Yeah.
But you're not first. You're the support.
Yeah.
So for having both those spirits in me, knowing that the groove is so important, but stepping out front, it's about moving the ship, steering the ship of the band, steering the ship of the room. I love that. And even as a musical director, when I work with other artists, I would try to coach them on how to do it. And I would oftentimes be disappointed that they wouldn't take control of the room, wouldn't tell the right story, wouldn't do the right setup to make that emotion catch and really take that audience on a trip, right? So that's what I love about my shows and being a lead vocalist. I get to control the room. It's my room.
So do you have like backup singers and all that kind of like, backups? And can you dance? Because some of your tracks, I'm like, okay, you got a little two-step going on.
Of all the things I'm good at, dancing is not my thing. So I kind of got the old man thing, I try to keep it nice and smooth, nice and smooth and jiggy, but I don't get out there doing the Chris Brown thing.
Oh no.
No, I'm saying I'm cook smooth,
you're
baby.
too soulful for that. You can't.
I'm saying cook smooth. It's
You're a bit of that.
It's all about the swag. It's about the swag. But yes, I mean, pre-pandemic, I could have up to 10-piece band, if I wanted, because that's my pedigree. I put bands together. And so I always produce my own show with my musical director, whoever that may be. I work hand in hand, in terms of laying out the show, the arrangements of the songs, preparing the background singers and that type of thing. But since the pandemic has hit, of course, I've done about, 3 shows, but I always use my pre-recorded vocals just for, social distancing on stage, not only for our own safety, but for the perception of safety for the viewers.
Yeah.
We don't want them feeling like we're disrespecting the times that we're living in. So I stripped it down to just a 3-piece band with programs to still give a good visual and audio show without the perception that we aren't aware of what we're going through.
Yeah. So you've actually you dropped so with your music and stuff, you have you mentioned in the club in the house. You mentioned there that about the now I forgot what I was gonna say. I do apologize.
You mean about the production? About the productions that we put on for?
No, from last year. So you said about you dropped an album, which that's it. Thanks for reminding me. You dropped an album from last year, and when you do music and your songs and stuff, you do look at what your surroundings are, what's going on in the world. So, what are you currently working on? Any projects just at the moment?
Well, right now, like I say, I'm just keeping my foot on the gas with the Lightness of Love. I plan to promote this one for quite a while because it's just such a timeless, great project. You know what I mean? And I really want to ride this one into hopefully a post-pandemic sort of era where we can start gathering. I really want to perform this music with the
Where's
crowd.
that?
You know, right. I just do. You know, before I put out another album, I want to perform the music from my last two projects to a live audience, you know, to as much of a packed house as possible. So, but I will tell you that while working on me and just promoting my music, I'm still educating and helping others learn to write songs with my songwriting program, which is called The Right Life. You know, and I work with the Reentry Social Services Agency here in Birmingham. And I basically work with young people, teaching them how to write songs. And also, if they're interested, and because it is a workforce development agency, if they're interested in music as a business, giving them the basic entrepreneurial background to their craft. You know, a lot of rappers, a lot of singers and writers want to be rich, but don't understand the basics of the music business. So while I'm promoting me, I hope to create and put other people on a path like myself to attain success. And, you know, my man, Fred Jerkins, the third producer, Dark Child, came into the house last night. And he was one of those people that put me on the right path, not only creatively, but with that business background, understanding how the industry works behind the contracts, understanding that part of it, the black and white of the business. That part for me is what I love sharing with others as I push my own music.
I think that's really humbling as well, because especially with the younger generation, you hear a lot of artists that are only just starting, they're in their late 20s or something like that, because they haven't had those opportunities. And that's another thing I do bless with the pandemic. It has blessed people to do things virtually, you know, and go and look and seek that help. Because, you know, like people are always, I think the problem with artists is they make a track, then they want to do visuals and drop and then perform, which is time consuming, you know. So I think the pandemic has kind of stopped that. Stopped the kind of performances that, you know, you can't just go anywhere for your visuals or anything like that. So I think it's made them think about, oh, what can I do now? Because at the end of the day, they don't know the business side enough for them to be able to sell their products virtually, you know. So I think that's really good, and it's good that you're doing it for the younger generations. You know, I have a 17-year-old son, so I'm all about keeping the youths off the streets and basically, you know, diverting their energy into craft and whatever that may be. You know, gaming, music, videos. I want to do more for things like that. So shout out to you for that. I want to ask a question though.
Okay.
I don't want to say this is in a, you know, because, you know, we're both over the 85s or under the 85s. You know? We ain't gonna tell people our ages or anything like that. We'll let them work it out because we've already given them the year. So if you missed it, that's all your fault. But what do you think? What's the biggest kind of differences between then and now in the music industry?
Ooh, between the pre-streaming age and the post-streaming? Oh, the check is a difference. The check. You know, I you know, there's this running joke. It's like, man, I wish I was born in the 70s and the 60s. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, if I could have been me back then, I'd be rich, right? So that's kind of the running industry joke for writers and producers. So, you know, I think I started getting in the game right as the manufacturing industry was dying off. You know what I'm saying? So I think one of my big projects with Joe sold a lot of CDs, but that was about it. That was the end of it, though. That was the tail end.
Back in the days when there was
right, because it was like streaming was taking over and CDs were going away, and it makes a difference, in terms of the money that was being made when you could control who listened to what. You know what I'm saying? When you could control it. So with that freedom of technology and access to the consumers to listen to whatever they want to listen to, it came at a cost to the business of music. So for me, I had to make that evolution to say, like, hey, I'm not selling music. Music is selling me. What else can the music sell? Because I can't force a person to buy a CD. I can't force them to buy a piece of plastic to hear my music. But who am I? What does that music sell where I can get more from that consumer? And that is a much, for independence, right? To actually make money is so much harder now, which is why, you see a lot of the games people play to look like they're doing well. Boost your numbers or do this to get your followers up. But where you live, what kind of car you drive? Do you have health insurance? I'm like, well, really, what are you living like? But I see what you're looking like. But what's your plan, your business plan to have a life?
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying?
Thank you. Like, literally, that's why we saying to people, like, those chains and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where's your investment?
Yeah. And at least from me and whatever influence I have, I always tell people, I have these sayings. I say, big dreams are built with 30-day bricks, right? Big dreams are built with 30-day bricks. If you see this dream house on the hill, well, there's a brick. Every brick has to be laid. When I say a 30-day brick, that's a 30-day plan. I got to keep my lights on, food on the table, clothes on my back, health insurance, those basic, what I call basic human essentials that get me every 30 days closer to my dream. If you don't have that foundational plan, then you're probably making decisions that'll put you in the very, that high risk category. It's one thing to say, hey, man, I heard you can make it by sleeping in your car and singing on the side of the road. Give it a try. That can also lead to homelessness. And I'm not against that. It may work for you. But
that goes back to the clout chasing. Some people make music just to clout chase. They don't make music because it's something they have the passion for, and I'm not saying, because I understand people's stories, like they go through things like that to sacrifice for their dreams to come true and stuff like that. I get that. But I also know that people use that so that they can get the clout for, it may not even be true sometimes, sometimes it may not be true. They say whatever they can say to try and get that clout. And I think that's like, I do feel like artists, like, I don't come across these artists. It was very rare that I come across these artists, but I feel like some artists that have blown up shouldn't have blown up because they're not talented, And I know it sounds really harsh and stuff like that, but it's the reality of it. You've blown up because you've got either numbers or you've got money to pay those people off, And I think it's kind of, and I think that art, like music itself, it's a craft. It's a craft, and it's like reading a book but being sung to you.
Right.
You know?
And I think that there is a balance of the purity of art and the economics of art, right? There's a balance. And I will say, I'm probably one of those people when of course, like say you're discovering me and you may say, well, shucks, why hasn't he made it? You get that, a lot of artists get that question because they measure success by talent and say, oh, but you're talented enough, your music is good enough. But then you turn around, like you just said, there's some people that are out of here who you're like, oh, like how did they make it, right?
Yeah.
And what you have to do is find your own journey.
Yeah.
Find your own journey. For me, I've traveled across the world as a musician, but I said, I want to live in Alabama. I want to raise a family in Alabama. I like it. That's my choice. So I decided to take a path that was more long-term and sustainable, where I could raise a family, travel, go on the road, but come back and slow it down. That's my choice. I'm not gonna let somebody tell me, yo, you need to move to LA so you can get famous overnight. That ain't what I want to do. So I said, it may take me 15, 20 years, but I'm going to enjoy every single day of my life because I made that choice to do it. And I can honestly say that I don't regret one part of my journey, even if it doesn't turn out how people may think or how somebody else would. I'm making music and I'm making money to live a life that I choose to live. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I'm never going to stop climbing and never stop grinding to reach that pinnacle of success. But to me, what is the pinnacle? There is no pinnacle. Just keep going. Just keep doing it.
See, this is where we think very much alike, because it's kind of like you set goals, you reach those goals, and then you're like, okay, next set of goals. Okay. But I don't know if you do this, but my goals are like, I have a long-term goal, and then I set little goals to get to that long-term goal. So I'm not putting too much pressure on myself. So I'm like, all right, okay, in the distant future, this is what I want to get to. And then this is how I'm going to get there, you know? So it's like you do, because I just think sometimes that's the way you have to think about it. You have to basically, because you're going to put so much pressure on yourself. And this goes for like artists as well. Don't put so much pressure on yourself because you're trying to get to there, because you're going to go, you may end up going there, but you're going to dive right back down again, you know? And you don't want to throw yourself off that cliff at the end of the day. So
I'll tell this story before we go. I'll tell this story about what you just said. I remember when I was working my day job, and I would daydream about being on tour as a bass guitarist. It was just my big dream and my big goal is to play in a big stadium, you know. And just so happened my best friend won American Idol. You know, Ruben Studdard won American Idol, and I got an audition to tour with the American Idol band. You know, by that time I'd already resigned from my job, and I ended up going on tour. And I'll never forget, halfway through the tour, and I'm playing in front of thousands and thousands of people, the very thing I dreamed about. Halfway through the tour, I was ready to go home, and it hit me. It hit me like a ton of bricks. Bruh, you dreamed about this all your life, and now you're ready to go home. And that was the great epiphany for me. It's not about accomplishing a goal. It's about chasing it. The joy is in the chase. And so when I went back off of that mid-tour break, when I tell you, I literally got bored playing on stage, but I had more fun shadowing all the other people on tour, front of house engineer. I would just go out during sound check, or when I could, and just ask questions. I saw it as an opportunity to learn. Start talking with the tour manager, talking with the programmers, start sitting with the musical director. I said, it's so much to learn here, but I was only seeing it from a bass player's perspective and lost my joy. But once I saw it from a dreamer's perspective, like, keep dreaming. What's the next dream? Oh, I could do this as an executive one day. Let me go learn how to do it. I got my joy back. And that has been my mantra ever since, is that once you accomplish a dream or reach a goal, it's dead. At that point, it's dead. You cannot stay there. You have to keep dreaming. You have to keep pushing. So that becomes the life. The life of faith and dreams is the joy that gets you up every day. And eventually you wake up and look back and you're like, oh yeah, I thought I'm doing what I thought about 2 years ago. But now I'm only living today for what I'm trying to do 2 years from now. So it's a progressive type of thought process.
I think that's just like, not even just music. I think that's life. Like literally you live to die. Like literally you live to die, and you've got to literally learn. And I'm a big believer in everything happens for a reason, because you come across people to educate you. That's why I'm saying keep yourself humble, because you're always going to be learning something new every single day. And like, think too much alike. I swear.
Well, we got to do this again, man.
I know, time's just gone so quickly. We've done nearly an hour.
Oh man, we have to do this again, man.
Yeah, definitely. Before you go though, I just want to ask: is your because I know you said you got 2 daughters. Is that right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Are they into music?
Yes, they are. They are very, very talented. My youngest, she's 7, and she has, I believe, perfect pitch. She can just sing about anything. And my oldest, she likes to perform. She's more of a performer, and the youngest is a purist. You know, but I try not to force them into anything. I just try to teach them to how to think, right? You know, how to think and how to feel. And how to strategize. So I taught them how to play chess, you know, as at a young age, we played chess together. So I want them to know how to process their emotions, how to process their feelings, and how to, you know, see life strategically. So I don't want to tell them, oh, you should sing. If you want to sing, you will know how to go do it, you know. And I think that's what I show them is that once I decide I want to do something, I know how to think my way through it. You know what I mean?
Is that an Aquarius thing?
I don't know. Maybe so.
Because I'm the same. I'm like, if I want to go, and she will tell you as well. She knows what I'm like. If I want to go get something, I will go get it. And I think, you know, we go getters. Yeah. So,
yeah.
Thank you so
absolutely.
much. I am so happy that I got to meet you, interview you, and thank you so much. I know you're very busy, and you know, being a father, being a businessman, and everything like that, and just sharing your story and your success. I'm so happy, and we definitely got to do this again sometime.
We have to.
I hope if you have time to travel if everything's fine, if you have time to travel in June, I would love to meet you in person and just get a cup of tea, you know, and try and make that Kool-Aid.
I'll bring some packets with me if they let me.
You know? I'll be like, oh, okay.
Right. Oh, you know, let me just, before we go, let me just say, you know, you got all these different brands like Neo and, you know, everybody has their lemonade mixes and all this stuff. Yeah, it's just, you got plenty of stuff, but the original
Kool-Aid.
sugary drink mix is Kool-Aid. It's the original Kool-Aid. Look at it.
I bet you're gonna go make yourself one now, ain't you?
No. I drink water. You know, you got to keep your skin pretty. I don't put all that sugar in my mouth.
I've got a filter on, so I'm all right. You know
Man,
how we do.
I know that's right.
Thank you so much. We've run out of time. We've got like literally 3 minutes before a call. So thank you so much. I appreciate you so much. This was fun. This was a very, very good interview. Thank you so much. And we will catch up soon. My birthday twin.
Yes, February 5th. My girl. Thank you so much for having me.
Take care of yourself now. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Well, that was Alvin, Garrett. Thank you all for joining with us. And sorry I haven't actually been able to, like, I was just vibing. Haven't been able to read the comments as much. But yeah, thank you so much. If you are interested in getting an interview with me, please do hit my DMs. My name is Mimsy, UK official. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you again very soon. Take care of yourselves. Bye.